Well, interestingly and happily so, I have the man in the eye of the storm, the Commissioner for Insurance and the CEO of National Insurance Commission, Mr. Sunday Thomas. Thank you very much, Mr. Thomas, for joining us on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I was watching you from where I am here. I mean, watching your gesticulation when the member of the House of Reps was talking. Yes, you listened to that call by the House of Representatives for extension of the insurance capitalization. And then you will recall that even after the NSAS protest, operators themselves were asking you to consider their challenges by amending some of the requirements in the recapitalization exercise for the sector. Yes, December 31 is the deadline for the recapitalization. With this plea, are you going to back down?
No, thank you very much. I think it's not as much as an issue. First and foremost, I'm just hearing this now, and there are processes and procedures for communicating such directives. So the best I will do is to wait until I'm formally notified of the decision with respect to the resolution passed by the National Assembly.
Well, while you wait for this notice, like I said, during this NSAS protest, we saw the aftermath of it, the destruction, and of course, there was this concern if there was going to be a lot of claims on the insurance companies, and they are concerned that they might probably not be able to even meet up with the claims considering the recapitalization that is on the way. And they had already voiced out their own concerns and says, please, NAICOM, we want you to do something. We want you to extend this. So based on this, is it something you should be able to do?
No, I think this one has been variously discussed, and the issues that are involved, we have engaged the market, and for us, it's not as much as whether one wants to back down or not. I think what is important is the interest of the industry. What do we do to deepen our market? That's what the whole exercise is all about. So, but for now, with respect to that, we have to separate the issue of the deadline, the issue of the aftermath of NSAS. Let's separate them and put them in the right perspective. I believe that the entire recapitalization being mixed up with the issue of NSAS may not necessarily be an issue for consideration. But as far as your question is concerned, I would rather, now that there has been an intervention by an arm of government, I would rather wait and see until the processes and procedure for conveying the resolution of the Assembly is passed and to the National Insurance Commission.
Thank you. Now, the insurance sector, of course, seems to have been in a topsy-turvy state for years. And you had said that 2020 is the year to turn around the insurance sector. Perhaps that's the reason we've coming up with this recapitalization and, of course, all the policies and programs of NAICOM. Mm-hmm. We have few weeks, of course, to the end of 2020. Can you give us an overview of the current state of the industry?
Yeah, we started the year on a very good note, believing that we have a great year ahead of us. Unfortunately, the unexpected happened. You will realize that most part of this country, there has been a lot of inactivity, and those initiatives that are lined up for realizing some of the goals could not be achieved. But notwithstanding, I must say that this year may not be totally as bad as it looks. This year, 2020, of course, if you look at the numbers, in spite of what we went through, the variance is not as massive as what it was. Of course, we haven't had the total figure, but from the interim numbers that we are getting, it may not be as bad. But I will say clearly, deepening the market was our goal. Of course, still our goal. We set out and we said we are changing. It's not just about regulation. It's also about developing the market. But some of the mechanism for developing the market was the reaching out to the states. Not much of this, we couldn't do much of this because of the restrictions in movement and the rest of that. But notwithstanding, in-house, we were developing some things that we believe will deepen the market. Just about a week ago or so, we were able to register 5 additional companies, 4 insurance companies, and 1 reinsurance company. The last reinsurance company that was registered in Nigeria or licensed in Nigeria was about 35 years ago. So we believe that we need additional operator in that area because the level of retention is on the downward trend. And we need to shore up this by licensing a local company. Of course, again, we see what is happening in the pensions arena. Right now, we're talking about over 11 trillion. The insurance sector is not playing. I would say it's not playing at all in this sector. And we ought to be leading in that. So, but I mean, out of the 4 companies, insurance companies that were registered, 3 of them are life companies that will be playing in the annuity market. Of course, we expect that the activity will also assist in deepening the market. Like you rightly pointed out, the issue of recapitalization was expected to strengthen the companies so that big ticket risk can be taken and retained largely within the market. But of course, we are still going on. Like I said, we will see the content of the resolution, then we see how to progress from there. Other than that, the issue of human capital development, we are pursuing this. Even this year, we are making an arrangement. We know the role of actuaries in risk assessment. This is one profession that is lacking in this part of the world. And we are determined to do that. And we are not just saying it. We are starting the first set of students that will be writing an exam that may assist or that will assist easy qualification. It's going to start by March next year, but the process is starting now. And it's being bankrolled, it's being financed or funded by the National Insurance Commission. Apart from that, we also have assisted a couple of institutions to strengthen their insurance department. So that let us do what we call backward integration. Let's develop the human capital that will be necessary to assist to achieve the objective of the industry. These are some of the areas. In addition, we are engaging some institutions like the Shippers Council. We are also looking at the Nigerian Content and Monitoring Board. Some of the leakages that we have noticed, we are trying to see how best we can block them. Most importantly, awareness creation. We've started this. Of course, we have the restrictions also reduce the impact that we will have made in this area. But we will continue. We just roll our programs. We roll it over into the coming year and see how far we can go.
Right. Still in the light of some of the efforts you've put out to support financial inclusion and, of course, increase insurance penetration. Recently, you granted conventional insurance companies a window to operate micro-insurance business. Am I correct?
That's quite right.
Yeah. Now,
you see, the issue of a window.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the issue of window, it's something we believe also will be additional. You see, we don't lack the demand. What is lacking is the supply of appropriate products. That is what we lack. And so we have noticed that people are concerned, the investors are concerned about the cost of establishing a microinsurance and the gestation period before profit start coming in. But let's start from the easy wins. And we believe that those who have cultivated the culture of insurance can open a window by which they can begin to transact microinsurance business. It will run parallel with those standalone microinsurance companies. And if we have that, gradually, for those that we have the window, they will get to a point where they will feel that the window is becoming too big for the house. So they will close it and have a house that is standing on its own. That's the whole idea. So, but let's start from the known. We have opened the window, and we believe that, and of course the window, they will establish a purpose department that is going to manage microinsurance business. And of course, we will monitor the headship of that department. The returns of the department will be totally separate from the other product lines. We believe that one is also going to fast track the whole process. Not only that, we also, of course, we have windows also for Takafu, but we are encouraging them to also see how they can migrate to standalone Takafu companies. Just last week, when those 4 companies were licensed, or 5 companies, we also licensed 2 additional Takafu companies to operate in Nigeria. So we want to cover every nooks and crannies of this country. Insurance should be the oxygen that all businesses should be breathing.
Now, Mr. Thomas, just hold your thoughts there. We will, of course, continue this conversation. For now, we'll take a break. And the Insurance Commissioner is still with us after the break. Thank you for staying tuned. And thank you, Mr. Sunday Thomas, for sticking on there. Thank you for your time. We appreciate it. Now, I want to take you back to the issue of micro insurance. Yes, I mean, I have a concern here. We all know micro insurance is designed for low-income people in developed countries, unlike Nigeria, where unemployment, dollar rate has affected the standard of living, thereby making citizens to live below $1 per day. Meanwhile, the policy is designed to protect the low-income earners against unexpected events that could threaten their livelihood. But the truth is, 70% of Nigerians don't have a source of livelihood. An average Nigerian doesn't know the importance of insurance. Some are affected by poverty, and the little income they make is to feed their families. How will micro-insurance benefit these people, this category of people?
Yeah, thank you. I think there is a misconception here. When it comes to people saving for their future, it's in times like these that people need to set things apart for the future. What I mean is that these low-income people that you are talking about, they are way, of course, we are talking of, they are not too bothered about this foreign exchange matter. Most of them, what from end to end of their transactions are mainly local. Their earning capacity are derived from from their environment. If you look at the presence of insurance in this country, it's limited to few cities. We are saying that majority of the people have a right to also this financial instrument. But of course, you are talking about the poverty level. Within that, I don't know how much of you are associated with those down there, but this has not stopped people from making contributions. People have not, this has not stopped them from making what we call a susu in, one of these collective instruments. So in the communities where you have people that you call those down the pyramid, they are still funding their activities. They would rather keep those ones and reduce their present way of life than not to have anything by the side. What we are saying that these savings that they are doing should be structured in a manner that those risks that are associated with their daily living can be taken care of. I mean, just imagine somebody who has, over the time, probably in times of plenty, was able to erect a building or able to put 1 or 2 things in place, or businesses. And if, in times like these, if anything happens to those businesses, what do you think will happen? Of course, certainly the person, that particular business will be taken out. And that is what we are trying to prevent, so that if the unexpected happens, he has a fallback position and insurance is the fallback position for such. But I will tell you that, of course, it is our responsibility to educate and to let the people know the place of insurance in their daily living and for their future. And that is one of the things I said earlier, that we have lined up programs that is going to sensitize the market. It's not, I mean, they are not buying in. It's not because they don't have the resources. It's because they are yet to understand the benefit that that insurance has to offer them. And that is why we are here, to let them know these benefits that they can gain by buying into insurance.
Now, what is the maximum sum assured under the microinsurance window?
Well, what we had before was about 2 million. So to tell you that that's, I mean, about 2 million is a huge sum to those down there that we categorize under the down the pyramid. But this is being reviewed. We're actually rejigging the entire microinsurance guideline. And when we finish looking at the environment, this might have to, we may have to up it a little bit. But that is what it is for now.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about creating confidence in the system and, of course, increasing penetration in the sector. Now, there is this negative perception that it's difficult to receive claims from insurance companies. What is the Commission doing to change this perception?
Of course, well, of course, again, let me tell you, that's more of perception than reality. But perception is important. I tell you, if you ask 2 or 3 people on the street and they tell you that, and you ask the next question, have you ever had any insurance before? The most likely answer is that no. So where did the experience come from? So people will tell you that it's difficult to get claims, but I know that insurance companies are paying claims. I will, however, not stay here and tell you that all the claims are being paid promptly. No, we have some little challenges there. There are some, and we are dealing with such. And that is why the law have a section and gives us the responsibility to set up a bureau, a complaints bureau. And through this, we have resolved a lot of issues, complaints that are made to the Commission. And I want to seize this opportunity to let Nigerians know, where you have challenges with receiving your claims from any insurance company, you can write to the National Insurance Commission, or you will visit our website, NAICOM.gov.ng. You know, you file your claims. When you file your complaints about your claims, we will attend to it, and it's at no cost to you. Now,
okay. Now, still part of efforts to deepen the financial services industry in Nigeria, Access Bank and Coronation Insurance are collaborating to drive what they called bank assurance. What is the take of NAICOM in this initiative, and will this boost financial inclusion and insurance penetration in the Nigerian market?
Thank you. I think about 2 or 3 years ago, we came up with bank assurance guideline. We recognized the fact that looking at the clientele base of the banking sector, leveraging the structure of their clients, that a partnership between the banking sector and the insurance sector can actually deepen the insurance, can deepen insurance penetration in Nigeria. And therefore, we in conjunction with Central Bank, we roll out bank assurance guideline. And since then, we have seen about 2 years of it. This is the 3rd year, I guess. This is about the 3rd year of the running of bank assurance. And we have seen the numbers coming out from there. So it's quite helpful. However, some of the challenges, having gone through the first 2 years of it, we are looking at the possible review of it, having learned from it, because this is the first time that we'll be going through that. You've gone through it for 2 years. We are looking at the policy now and trying to reshape it, taking the experience that we have garnered over the 2 years, taking the complaints that we have received, taking the challenges that are associated with the implementation. And of course, with that, just to enhance and improve the bank assurance transaction. So it's part of the mechanism for deepening the insurance market.
Yeah, so with bank assurance and the newly licensed insurance firms, it appears the Nigerian financial industry is going back to its days of universal banking. Are you concerned or not concerned about the financial strength and sustainability of these financial entities that are gradually striking relationships with your underwriting firms?
No, that's, I think let's put it right. It can't go back to universal banking. The model of the bank assurance that we are developing is more of distribution than the totality of insurance transaction. The bank assurance is not opening a window for total underwriting of insurance business. It's only distribution channel, that as it may. Of course, we also believe that having the bank assurance in place, partnership between the banking sector and the insurance sector, of course, is going to enhance the clientele base of the insurance sector. That's just the only major reason in the partnership. So it's not going back to universal banking. There are roles, there are responsibility of both the bank and the insurance sector. And that is why there's an agreement between the central bank and the National Insurance Commission on how bank assurance will work. So it is a model that is mainly on distribution. It's not the totality of the management of insurance portfolio.
Well, thank you, Commissioner, for that clarification. Now, NAICOM and PENCOM also recently signed an MOU to revise the retiree life annuity guidelines. So what is likely to change in the provisions of the existing guidelines?
Yeah, thank you very much. It's important to us, especially in the insurance sector. Many years, some 3, 4, 5 years ago, life insurance used to be like 20% of the total portfolio of the insurance industry. But in the last 2, 3 years, it has grown up to 40%. So it's quite important to us. So the relationship between PENCOM and NAICOM is to establish limits, roles, responsibilities of both institutions in terms of our regulatory oversight. We're working together very well. Of course, with respect to that, we're also looking at areas that might be overlap so that we avoid regulatory overlap. While also avoiding regulatory arbitrage. These are things that, as much as possible, the guideline is setting out. And of course, the implementation. We're working together from time to time. We have some standing committees that have been engaging each other. When we have issues with our regulated entities, we come together and find ways to resolve them. But of course, the issue of the Pension Reform Act has been quite helpful to the insurance sector. The group life, for example, is also coming up good by reason of government having made it part of a necessity or a requirement under the Pension Reform Act 2014. So it's quite important to us. And of course, the both institutions, PENCOM and NAICOM, we are working together in a very cordial manner.
Now, the AFCFTA will take off January 1. Where is the insurance sector in this?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
The African Continental Free Trade Agreement is taking off January 1. Where is the insurance sector in this?
Yeah, it's a great development, and we are quite grateful to His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, for allowing Nigeria to subscribe to this great initiative. We believe that with the free trade area, movements of goods will be enhanced. Trade across nations will be enhanced, of course. It's important to us because on the insurance sector, last year we started something that tends to harmonize insurance transactions along the West African English-speaking countries. Obviously, of course, in preparation for the AFTA. It's key to us. Now we have Nigerian companies that are all along the English-West African coast. You have the North African bloc, insurance regulatory bodies. You have the Eastern bloc, and you have the Southern bloc. The Western bloc is also made up of both the French and the English-speaking. the English-speaking seems to be behind, but we are catching up. WISA was created or established sometimes last year with the assistance of West African Monetary Institute, and the development is quite progressive. We are trying to harmonize, see how well we can harmonize our laws before we, first of all from the regulatory angle, and then see how this can be instituted. Of course, we are establishing insurance college so that we'll be able to deal with risk across that area. Then we can now go as a block and begin to engage these other blocks, the Eastern Bloc, the Southern Bloc, and the Northern Blocs. I think that is the way to go, and that is what is on the table right now. But yeah, it's a very good thing for us in the insurance sector.
And a quick one before I let you go. Now, I understand that NAICOM had said post-recapitalization insurers wouldn't be able to expand operations offshore. Wouldn't that stall the role of Nigerian insurance companies in the AfCFTA when it eventually comes into reality?
No. That cannot be exact. Of course, post-recapitalization, the capacity of the industry is expected to be bigger. So we will not just be efficient in managing the local risk. We will also bring in more from other jurisdictions. Of course, and with the free trade area initiative, we expect this one to enhance our access to businesses from other jurisdictions. Definitely, with bigger capacity, we will be able to retain more and also be able to bring in more businesses into the country.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sunday Thomas. We appreciate your time, and thank you for clarifying some of these issues. And perhaps I would beg, maybe you'll try and see what you can do as regards this recapitalization. I'm just begging. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. All right.